So I started and picked up a job at a financial advisor, wherein my first salary was rupees 2,000. Then my accident happened where I lost my hearing power and I had to return back from my job to zero. I was still struggling. I thought my life ended. That at the end of the year, we empowered some 250 women. And I realized that people have so many problems in life. Why am I only thinking about my one problem that I could not go to college? So I had a team of people. I was leading a team of people who were actually mobilizing the unemployed students from Kashmir, in Jammu and Kashmir region.
Okay.
Students who are doing or pursuing architecture, who understand the, structure management or architecture management,
Yes.
who design and find out problems and suggested the solutions in that.
Yes. Hello everyone. Today in Rubaru with Rupali, we are having a dynamic personality. She is a woman entrepreneur and she has an amazing journey from a small town like Varanasi to Mumbai. This is a woman who has moved internationally and made humongous changes in the social service area. We are going to meet Sonam Mehra, currently a lead, almost a managerial position in CSR sector of Mahindra and Mahindra, and also an entrepreneur who has her own NGO in the name of Protsahan, and it is impeccable to know that what a huge service she has been doing to the society and to the women, children with different or in different areas and villages of India. Let's meet her. Sonam Mehra, a woman of substance, and my words are falling short to explain and to talk about her. She is the right person who can give a briefing. You won't believe I was talking to her for past half an hour, and her journey is something which I have very rarely heard of. As a woman entrepreneur, the empowerment that she has gained was not easy. She has gained through hurdles, through difficulties, and she's here to share her story. I mean, I don't see a better platform for bringing her to you, and I'm really glad, Sonal, you gave your time here, Sonam. She is into corporate, leading as a lead team member, looking at CSR projects, as I had already introduced her. But there is a lot of background to what she is today. Sonam, welcome on this podcast.
Thank you, sir.
And what do you think you would like to begin here to talk about your journey? Where do you feel you would begin?
So thank you for calling me, sir. In fact, Rituja, I'm from a very humble background, a very humble family. We are from a very small town called Varanasi and very popularly known as Kashi now.
Yeah.
And have always seen that, Seva was part of our family, where religion has always taught us, serving people, serving, when you are out on the temple, serve someone, help someone. But I never thought that this will become my profession, a full-time work, where my job is to touch lives of people in different forms, in different ways.
You were, I'm sorry, that pause I tried to snatch from you, but that period where your education was hampered, why I would like to tell you this I would want you to tell to the students and the audience here is because there is a phase that many of my students go through, where they have to take a break, where they are not able to pursue their education, what they are doing. And it goes as a lot of heartbreak for them when they realize that maybe we would remain behind and it will take us a lot of time to build up because all other of my classmates and teammates are moving ahead. I would really like you to share that experience of yours.
You are taking me, a little back of my life, and I'm really glad to talk about it. I always felt, education is important, and I still realize that education is very, very essential in any human professional's life. And it not only builds you, gives you a profession or a stream, but it makes you a good person at time. In fact, a better person in life. Uh, to my education, I started my schooling in Varanasi. I was a Kathak dancer. I was always very fond of dancing, very happy child. Then I said, okay, science is not my piece. In fact, what should I do? So I took commerce. After my 12th, I went to Delhi University to study my bachelor's in commerce. But moving out from a small town to a city like Delhi, very different culture. I was in a girls' college, and it was very, very different to me. In fact, eating outside, partying outside. This was not my life. In fact, we were always at home by 7 or 6 before the sun sets, because that was the rule of the house, in fact. And certainly, I was doing well in the college. I was a college leader, been part of every big events and all. But after 3 months, when I returned to my home, I was on a vacation. I came back to Varanasi to spend time with my family. I just realized that I'm spending a lot on my college studies, being in Delhi. I should better be here at my home, because my father had a medical condition. My mother was working as a railway government employee, and I had a younger brother. So I realized that I have responsibility towards my family, and I should be with them at time. And then I actually moved out from a regular college to business college, in fact.
Okay.
And started being at home, in fact. Then I said, okay, I can't be at home all the time, and then I said I should do something. So I started and picked up a job at a financial advisor, wherein my first salary was rupees 2,000, where I was actually learning how to fill up the mutual fund forms, how to fill up the stock forms, while I was in my graduation, in fact. Then from that, I realized there is a finance field, which I can definitely pursue. I was doing well. I was raising funds. I got a target of reaching out to 100 HNI clients. I raised some 100 crores, in my graduation period, and did really well in the job. However, that was not something that I wanted to do always. So after I completed my graduation, I thought, this is not just going to help. I have to do more. People of my age were doing MBAs and doing some great management work. So I said I should also be doing something like that. But then I had no choice to go into a regular college. So I enrolled myself in IMT Ghaziabad to pursue my PG diploma in HR. And I completed that, and I got my first corporate entry. After that, I started working as an HR at Sulekha.com in Noida. That was very good 10 months, and I was doing really pretty well, with less education, but with a good job. But then life had some other plans, and I met an...
Suppose, Sonam, you had the experience more than the education that counted in getting you these jobs.
But I was not really, very, very happy about what I was doing, because I was part of the other...
still finding your passion.
Yes. And
Calling.
I was like, there was no inner calling at that time, is this something that I want to do?
Exactly.
Then my accident happened where I lost my hearing power, and I had to return back from my job to zero. Wherein I was still struggling. I thought my life ended. There is nothing more. I was just 23 at that time, and there is no ray of hope after that. So my doctor took me to an AIMS hospital and to a cancer segment, in fact. And he said, these people know when they are dying. But you don't know. You have a choice. You want to live or you want to die. And then he said that hearing aids are just like you wear a spectacles. If you don't see, it's just like that. So I said, okay. Then I took my first hearing aids at that time. But I was still not very convinced with this problem now again. So I started to work for volunteering for an NGO, local NGO in Varanasi, who was actually helping students with multiple disability. So I used to go and spend time, students who have vision issues, who are mentally, ill, in fact, and who can't see, who can't hear. And I realized that life, people have so many problems in life. Why am I only thinking about my one problem, that I could not go to college, or I did not had a sound hearing? Then with my work there, the manager over there told me that you were so compassionate. Why don't you take a full-time career in social work? I said, I don't know what is social work. What do you do in that? He said there is a mainstream career. You can become you can pursue studies and then you can work in NGOs like this. So I said, okay, let me find a course. And again, I identified a course with IGNU and I enrolled myself into Masters in Social Work. While I was doing all that, I said, okay, now I feel this is the job that I have to do. And I again moved back to Noida and started working for an NGO who said that, see, you have no experience, Would you like to go in Bihar and work for women? I said, okay, I mean, this is something I would like to do it.
Yeah.
And I was being sent to a remotest part of Bihar where I had to work with a group of women, in fact, who were not doing anything. And I have to work on financial empowerment for them. So our job was to bring them out of their houses, rehabilitate them, make them be, part of life. In fact, the violence is not a part of a regular life. Skill, supporting, being happy is part of more important life, in fact.
So gaining their confidence in the first place must have been a challenge. I mean, they're very secluded community, which might not open up to outsiders.
Right. It took a great amount of time to gain their trust because especially in rural parts of India, you see, they have been misguided or they have been used their resources are being used. So we took time. We had a team of people working with them. We told them that we are here for you. We are not changing. We are not come with any political agenda. We are here for your betterment.
Okay.
And I would say, we'll cut down this story to a highlight of the story, in fact, that at the end of the year, we empowered some 250 women and we taught them a skill of stitching and, doing threading and doing neat little work, in fact. Their work was collaborated by a brand called Drishti, in fact, who was helping them to get empowered. They produced and we used to sell them. And we even exported their goods, in different parts of India. After I did that, it was a great achievement for me, I really understood what means empowerment to me.
Yeah.
And I was feeling good about myself.
Exactly.
While I was seeing other people's achievements, in their life, I was happy with their achievement.
Yes. So now when you're saying this, I can relate to some of my students who are coming to me, though they are into this, education of architecture and they are learning, but I can see their inclination towards, compassionate work, their inclination towards social service or working in villages. I'm sure this experience of yours is going to show them a platform that how they can go ahead. With what you have done and which you will be saying now to our audience also, I'm sure there are these students who would get an approach to you, speak with you, volunteer with you in what all you're doing. So I'm really glad and so happy that you're sharing this. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So post I completed this project with Drishti Foundation, I wanted to do a little more now. I have traveled to Bihar, which is a difficult part of India. Then I moved to another organization who was actually doing a skill development projects for government. And they hired me to do a project in Jammu and Kashmir.
This is my God. I mean, एक challenge से दूसरा challenge.
And this is why my journey was very, very fascinating in terms of...
This was which year when you were looking at Jammu Kashmir?
This was in 2015. And government was investing their resources in Skill India project.
Yeah.
In fact. So I had a team of people. I was leading a team of people who were actually mobilizing the unemployed students from Kashmir, in Jammu and Kashmir region.
Okay.
We were bringing them to distant parts of India, helping them to get better skill and job. And this went really, really very well, in fact. So by that time, I worked for a corporate, I worked for an NGO, I worked for another NGO. Now it was time to work for, another thing was that, I want to work for a big company, like my other friends were doing, in fact.
Yeah.
But I used to find challenge that a lot of time my applications were rejected because I was not a full-time student, in fact, for them. So...
Because your graduation was part-time.
Yes, because my graduation was distance learning, my post-graduation was distance learning, and but I was continuously working, in fact. But then I said there will be one day when I will get a call from a very good company. And then happened a company called MetLife, which is the biggest US insurance company of US. And they reached out to me to hire, to manage their corporate social responsibility. For an audience, CSR is a mandate in India. It's a law in India. Any company who earns 500 crores and above have to spend their 2% for social development.
Right.
And there comes a lot of opportunity for your students, which I will definitely come to it, that how can they be part of this
Wonderful.
social opportunity impact. So I
I would like to interrupt here and tell my audience that if you see, she has been moving to different stages and trying to look at different pedestals, but her passion of social service didn't leave her. So whether she was doing government work, whether she was doing corporates, she has held on to that calling, right? So then, because this is very important.
Yeah.
You can see that there are people at different levels, but you need not follow them.
Yeah.
You have to actually follow what your inner calling is.
Yeah.
And you're setting a wonderful example. Yes, please go on.
So I think out of my all students from my school, the batch of students, I'm the only person who is pursuing this stream, in fact. All of them are management or leading HR or doing something different. But this came to me, and I think I'm very, very proud that I'm doing this, because it keeps me happy. It keeps me alive all the time.
Keeps you satisfied. You want, or I'm sure you are aware of how much stress builds up in students when they are not doing the work which
They want.
they are happy with, right?
Yeah. I think everybody's calling has to happen at their time, in fact.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I just can't say that abhi tak we don't know. You just have to follow what you feel you're happy in.
And one thing that I really learned in my life is that keep moving. I never stopped,
Yeah.
Education never stopped me. People never stopped me. I think a group of people around me never stopped
The
me.
accident never stopped you.
Yes, the accident never stopped me. And it really went really well to me because I took one step at a time in my life. While I said that, my journey was happening, I leaded a CSR for a multinational called MetLife.
MetLife.
And it's been great, by that time I had a group of 50 people who were associated with me and doing some volunteering projects. We were helping people, from disabilities.
Okay, so this was your personal work.
Yeah.
You mean to say?
Yeah. While my mainstream profession was this, I was also pursuing, my personal volunteering at the same time. We have helped a lot of cancer patients to mobilize funds for their treatment. We have helped a lot of, people with disabilities who want to pursue sports to get their wheelchairs. We have helped a lot of students, who go to schools back. So all of this was done in my personal passion volunteering projects, in fact. And I think volunteering has kept me going all the time. It is not something one-off for me. I think volunteering brought me in this career stream where I am earning my daily life, in fact, and I'm changing and touching lives in a way.
Of course.
And the beauty of this sector, Sudhya, is that it allows people from all sectors, all skill sets, all professions to come in and share their interest. For example, in my past projects, we did a lot of watershed development projects.
Okay.
Wherein we bring, students who are doing or pursuing architecture, who understand the, structure management or architecture management.
Yes.
Who design and find out problems and suggest the solutions in that.
Yes.
And I allow and open up, people, students associated with you who would like to be part of such projects and plans, wherein they can bring in their skills and talents.
Sonam. And the fact is, this learning is absolutely different when they have to really find a solution and implement it.
Right.
They are doing lot of solutions on paper.
Right.
But they don't realize it that it has to be, once it is implemented, how empathy develops, because you have to really look at different aspects.
Right.
And these areas, because they do rural settlement studies, they do documentation, but they're one of its kind. They do it and they come back to the class.
Right.
But here, if if you can help them with giving certain projects which is going to stand.
Right.
The designs, the solutions, however small they are.
Right.
But they are going to stand out. Then there is a different learning which I truly believe in.
Yeah. I always say, students who come up to me to ask about my profession and what am I do, I say that poor cannot be solved with the poor solutions. You have to find good solutions for poor people, like to bring them from their, poverty, in fact.
Yes.
And I always feel that using a right skill at the right time at the right place with right set of people can change many lives, in fact. And that's why, while I was doing a lot of personal volunteering project, I was encouraged by my team members, my peers, my family members that why don't you start something of your own? And I started a social initiative called Protsahan. While I work full time for a corporate, I also do volunteering in an organization called, which is founded by me, where we have 150 plus volunteers across India.
Lovely.
Join us.
These resources who are working with you, maybe, or knowing you,
Yes.
and your passion and your dedication.
Right.
Because it is very important that a team builds in the right sense.
Right.
Just coming for a time span and just volunteering and going back is not.
Right.
And you have earned all these people through this journey.
Right. I give credit to all these people, who have joined me in this change, movement,
Yes.
wherein we are trying. I mean, we will still say there is a lot of problems around us. We want to pick up one problem, create solutions with people around me, and then address that. And while I would say, we've worked a lot of projects during COVID. We rescued people, who were from stuck during the COVID hours. We helped elderlies. We helped students, to get tablet access or phone access to continue their education. We given blood, oxygen, everything was done, under the banner of Protsahan, in fact, with no funding support. I think that sometimes, we say that, you need money to solve problems. But I always say we need people to solve problems.
Oh, that's great.
And that's what Protsahan is advocating. We nurture people volunteering dreams. We create them into a project form. A lot of people, right from a student from a school to a student from a college has reached out to me to say that what can they do to the society. A student from Noida, he actually do a career sessions in schools. When during his weekend hours or Saturdays, he goes to the government schools and do a career session.
And guide them with what careers are available for them.
And guess the age of a child. Can you guess? He's just 8 years old.
Really?
And he volunteers with us.
Oh.
So there are some great and positive stories, it is happening, in fact. And while the data and numbers are, existing, I think one single step can make a lot of difference in people's lives.
Of course. It is that flap of a wing of a butterfly, to bring the entire change.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Sonam, as you gave the example of this child who comes and helps, I know one of my student, Aniket, was working in the office, and then he just felt that his calling was going into vernacular and looking at the local housing, and he had to really, convince parents. And then now he has decided, I'll go back to my village and look at my house and try to give an example.
Right.
So when we were talking, Sonam, you gave an example of, this service beginning at home.
Right.
And that's the right way of approach.
Right.
Because the person, जैसे मैंने कहा कि when he went to his village, he knows the village, he knows the people, he knows his house. And you began, you tried to change your help, the maid who comes to your house.
Right.
And built up her financial support through through telling her different means. I mean, this everybody can do at their place.
Right.
So volunteering can begin from home.
Absolutely.
It is not that you have to move out, come somewhere, go anywhere.
Right.
You should just start here from your heart.
Right.
And you are there to show them the way.
I said a lot of people are doing great work like this. I am one of them. In fact, just trying to do some better change that I can do. While I say सेवा पहले अपने घर से चालू होती है.
बिल्कुल.
हमें बड़ों को हमेशा बताया है कि तुम समाज में सेवा तब कर सकते हो जब तुम अपने आसपास के लोगों को सेवा करो. So I just started thinking that how can I touch or change lives of people who are around me. And it's been a housemaid, or it's been my neighbor, it's been my security guards who can have access to it, in fact. So a simple example, a story that I will share that, a few years back, the housemaid who she first time started working as a housemaid, in fact.
Okay.
And she was not, her husband was actually a vegetable seller. It was not doing very well during COVID time. So she said that, I will only come to a house where women are there. And because she wanted to be safe.
Okay.
And she did not, because it was her first job.
Time, yeah.
So I started talking to her, understanding that she had her own violence, own problems in her house. Her husband was beating sometimes, and she was having her own issues. See, there are problems which I can't solve.
Yes.
But then I realized that what is more important to her? That she was making money while working in 5-6 houses, but she was not able to save because she didn't have a bank account. So I helped her and understood the importance of opening a bank account, getting a right set of documents, PAN card, Aadhaar card. And now, so happy to share that now she runs a Google Pay scan code that she has.
Okay.
She came to me and she said, "दीदी आप मेरा वो scan code निकाल सकते हैं क्या? मेरे husband को दुकान पे payment करने के लिए चाहिए."
अच्छा.
So she opened her bank account. She got a QR code and Paytm on that. And then she gave it to her husband to, start, getting money in digital pay. Because his husband doesn't even have a bank account. We also found out a couple of government schemes, which can be benefited to her.
Yes.
Like there are a lot of other government schemes, which provide some financial support as a pension or social security. So me and my team identified few schemes which can help, people who are in the urban cities, but they are, living below poverty line. How can they be benefited out of it, in fact? If you know across any scholarship programs, then you can help this child of your maid to apply for the scholarship program.
Yes.
If there is any government scheme which is allowing a free rations for them, can you help them get that free ration to it? I think there is a lot exists in our ecosystem. You just have to plug and connect them.
Connect the dots. And the thing is, what does education do? Right? So for you, your experience was a learning back. And there you learned all these possible grants, funds, how finances can be managed,
Right.
for benefiting and for a social cause.
Right.
And I suppose this is what is needed. How your education can try to improve the society around you and try to build in that, confidence in the people who are not able to do it. I think that's the only aim of education.
Right.
The minute you try to serve others, the satisfaction that you will get, no amount of money or finances can bring that to you.
Right.
And I'm amazed to say that, not having any funds or anything, you're doing such a humongous job, and you have some good Samaritans who just come ahead and help you and move ahead. It is amazing. I think this should be the zeal wherein rather than thinking more of kya hoga, kitna ye hoga, I feel like doing it, I'm doing it.
Right. I think resources come to you when you walk with the right intent.
Exactly.
And this, I was not experiencing it when I was doing it. When I am at some point, all of this becomes stories for me now. And when I look back, I think that the good part is that you have to have a right intent. I never imagined of having my own organization, having my own group of people, or being working in a company like Mahindra with no formal certified or regular schooling. One very good recent thing that has happened to me, as I told you that I did my master's from IGNOU.
Yeah.
But I could not complete my education after 2 years, which I joined in 2017. I completed my master's last year. Before completion of that, I'm also an academia lecturer or guest lecturer for students who are pursuing CSR at IGNOU.
Okay.
So I think now people are recognizing the importance of experience over education also, which is important. But experience and education can give you a very, very good result.
A holistic approach.
Absolutely.
Any one without the other is incomplete.
Right.
To move ahead in the right sense and to create that difference in the society.
Right.
Wow. Wonderful. So what are your plans now?
So I'm as I told you, I'm doing a lot of good work at Mahindra CSR, leading the farm division for CSR. We are working with thousands of women there, in fact. While I'm doing good at corporate, I'm also building Protsahan to move forward.
Yes.
So we are curating a project where we are supporting and identifying women, but aspirational women who want to set up their own businesses. And these women are from rural India. These women are from, you can say, semi-urban India, who has skill but lack resources, lack awareness, lack of access, who can start their own journey from there. while I have done projects in my previous corporates experiences, we have supported some 200 women to start up their own business enterprises. And enterprises like a stationery shop, enterprises like a beauty parlor, enterprises like a tuition center, like a computer classes, or maybe even making a jewelry and selling up in the market. So our women are not lesser than anyone. They have a right skill, but they need to be nurtured in fact. And I think Protsahan want to become one of that, to help those women in their journey to achieve their entrepreneurship experience. In fact, I get great calls from women who are already running their business, and they call up and they say, "Madam, हमने इस महीने 10,000 रुपए कमाया."
That is like one gold medal to you. You know, the minute we hear
Exactly.
this, it feels.
And what I found is that if a women start earning, they start giving good things to their own family.
Yes, so well said. So well said.
They will send their students to a good school, good health ability. They will have a good lifestyle, and they start taking care of themselves as well.
Yes.
And I think financial empowerment is very, very crucial, in fact, as for me, and I think the same for others. Like.
No, it is most important. I mean, I always, as you rightly said, I also feel that the girls should be first financially empowered. Not only education is enough for them. I mean, when you look at a boy and say that he should have his own house and his own bank balance, it applies to the girl also.
Right.
That she has her own house and bank balance before she moves ahead out of the house of her parents. Because somewhere that stability is needed. And I think the road that you have followed through so many hurdles has given you empathy, has given you compassion, and has given you that strong base which has brought you where you are today. And the generation of today can benefit from people like you so much. Sonam, I remember Sonam telling me, will I be helpful to the students? And that's how the audience knows what best they have got today, because for them to realize कि ये भी हो सकता है, ये एक बहुत खास बात है जो काफी लोगों को एक्सपीरियंस और ऐसे हर्डल्स के बाद पता चलता है. और हम अगर उनको ये राह अभी बता पाए, तो आई थिंक दैट इज वन स्मॉल स्टेप दैट वी आर डूइंग टुवर्ड्स द बेनिफिट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स एज अ कम्युनिटी.
बहुत जरूरी है कि आप अपने आसपास के बारे में थोड़ा अवेयर रहे. एंड आई थिंक यू create good solutions when you are highly aware about things, in fact. And there is no perfect life or perfect way of achieving anything, which I certainly have experienced that. And now corporates like big companies, call up and they say, would you like to lead my CSR? And I take pride in sharing that, because it would not have happened if I would not have moved from there. And it's been 12 years now, when I was thinking the life has ended because I can't hear well. But now I hear from, different.
Of course, very well said that, you're hearing the praises and the accolades and the blessings of all these people whom you have shown a way. It is an impeccable job, Sonam. I mean, when I look at you, I feel, कितने साल वो hurdles मुझे नहीं दिख रहे हैं, where you are right now. People after putting in 25-30 years have also not reached with कितने भी आप degrees ले लो और आप accolades ले लो, but this life experience has taught you some humongous thing. So what is the last advice that you would like to give the young generation?
I think I'm not still enough to share an advice. But I think, as I said to you, keep moving with the life, Life has so much to show you. And there is so much to experience just beyond, filling out your bank balance or achieving something. There are so many good things and positive stories in life. If we start focusing on positivities about life, it will bring things in you what you aspire for. I think my journey of volunteering gave me a lot of lesson in life, in fact. When you start looking at problems of others, you start solving others' problems, you solve your own problem in life.
True.
And I am really thankful to my family, who had believed in me, my husband, my mother-in-law, my mother and father. Everybody has been, that she will do it. She always believed कि कर लेगी. And ये बहुत भरोसा देता है आपको अपने ऊपर भी. And I think younger generation is very much aware about a lot of stuff other than us also.
True.
But they just need to be a little more positive and be hopeful about things. Because changes do happen when you give time.
Exactly.
And life is part of having good and bad both.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, picture अच्छी नहीं लगती है.
बिल्कुल.
So that's what I will
Wow.
do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, really, from the bottom of my heart for being here and sharing your experiences, which are so close to your heart. And you didn't realize how much it would impact the people who are listening to what we're saying today.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we are going to collaborate you more.
Absolutely.
More, and this is just the beginning.
Absolutely.
Because volunteering is something which architecture profession is, has a foundation of. Because they are working for the society.
Right.
Their designs are for the society.
Okay.
And what best it can be other than knowing the people who are of a sector, the underprivileged sector. And if they can benefit them, it will be a wonderful giving.
So I invite everybody who is watching this or even not watching this, if you want to make good to anybody in your neighbor, at your home, in your society, please do walk up to us. There is great work has to happen with great people. And so great people are watching this video today. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much.